you don't have to follow anything or whatever. So,
Okay, so tell me, so when I look at us on the in Facebook, the
mhm.
it's small. How do I get it bigger? Do I need to look at it on an iPad, or
You
you
mean
know what
this
I mean?
meeting? This meeting?
Yeah, like when I'm looking at the ones that you do with other classmates.
Oh, yeah, obviously the bigger the screen, the better able to see. So,
I'll try farting with it later on because I'm using my phone and I'm like, and I'm trying to make it big and it doesn't get big and I'm thinking that it's just me. I don't know what I'm doing. So
well, when you press the picture of the interview that shows me and whoever I'm talking to,
yeah.
you press it, it should enlarge at that point, as far as I know. It
See,
works that
that's
way
what
for
I
me.
thought
So,
too, but it wasn't working that way. So I'm like, okay, all right, okay.
okay.
I just figure
Well,
it's always me because I'm not very good with this stuff. I'm
well,
really not.
I'll clarify for once we post this. I am with Michelle Gonsalves, and then you have a new last name now?
No, no, it's still Gonsalves.
Okay.
Yes,
I was just guessing because your email looks like it has a different last name.
that's my middle name.
Oh, okay, okay. Makes
Yeah,
sense.
that's
Good.
my middle name. Yeah.
Yesterday I sat down with Grayling Achu. You remember him?
Yes. Yes.
And if I remember correctly, the three of us, weren't we in D&E seventh grade, or was that eighth
Yes,
grade?
we
Or
were. Yes, we were. And there was Ellen Yano,
okay.
my partner in crime. And of course, the rest of the crew, right? Rabia Kane, Lucille. At the time, she was Ina, Joellen Myers, Joan Kina.
Wow.
Yeah, that was the gang. And we still get in touch. We're still in touch. We still get together. It's. I mean, talk about knowing somebody your whole life. That would be these ladies.
Well, after we're done, I'm going to probably ask you for help to maybe reach out to a couple of those to add them onto my
Oh
roster.
yeah,
So,
I'm gonna drop a dime on all of them because I was like, hey, how come me? And then I thought, oh, because we, we're on Facebook and this and that. I said, so he, I had my sucker sign flashing, pick me. So I thought, well, when he comes, I'm gonna give him everybody else's email.
now help me. Grayling and I could not remember. The male teacher was Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Who was the female? We couldn't remember her last name.
Oh my God, I see her face.
Was it
I
Barkley?
Oh, was it Barkley? I think it was. I think you're right. I
I
think you're
yeah.
right. I
He and I
had
kind of
Mr.
sat
Smith.
there for 3 minutes. We just couldn't.
Yeah. But this was a lot of years ago. So I remember Mr. Smith, and yes, it was and who was the other guy? Was it Granger? Social studies
Yeah,
and
yeah.
low car
Math,
and
yeah.
the heavy set woman. What was her name?
Miss Gill.
No, she was Gil. Gil. Excuse me. I'm sure I could get a lot of help from my cohorts about that.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it being, after all, a small world, I ran into a guy from Kaimuki High School when I was in Texas, and this would have been early 80s.
Wow.
Years later, in like 2016 or 17, he marries a woman. Come to find out, she's Mrs. Canetta's daughter. You remember Mrs. Canetta?
Yes, I remember her.
Yeah, so it was like, wow. I mean, what are the odds?
Not, I mean, yeah, those are long shots for sure.
Yeah.
And every time, I'm sorry, but every time we talk about a teacher, you know, because we had nicknames for. Of course,
Yeah.
we won't discuss those here on social media, but I'm just saying, every time you say a name, the nickname pops into my.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, we were so bad. We were so bad.
I think that's just that age group. You're spreading your wings
True,
and finding your way, and you're thinking,
true.
wow,
And
I am so creative and clever at this age.
well, when characteristics scream out at you, that even a seventh grader can think something like God.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
so long ago. We were so young, Kermit. Oh my God, how did we ever survive to this age? So
So to
blessed.
get us a good
Great.
starting point, what grade did you start Kamehameha?
Seventh,
Okay.
seventh grade. And
Where were
that's
you kindergarten to sixth?
kindergarten, kindergarten first and second. I was at Fern School in Kalihi, right
Oh,
next to
yeah,
KPT. Yeah, right
yeah.
next to KPT.
Okay.
Um, our babysitter, my brother and I, our babysitter lived in that area. So, um, you know, because mom worked, she was a single mom and she works two jobs. So, and after third grade, for fourth grade, fourth, fifth, and sixth, I went to Aliamanu Elementary School. Yeah, and
Oh,
that was where my sixth grade teacher uh, talked to my mom, spoke to my mom about, you know, um, the possibility of trying to get me into Kamehameha. And I didn't know. I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything about Kamehameha. I didn't know what was going on. I just, I just knew that it meant a lot to mom that I do well. So for the interview and the test and whatnot. Do you remember Mister? What was his name? Bluff. He was one of the interviewers. He was a short gentleman, so
yes,
friendly,
yes.
so friendly. He just was a perfect person to interview a child who was scared, right? He just drew all that out of us. It was just, I really, to this day, he must have been impacting me because I still remember him to this day.
Well,
But
everybody, I started with, well, I didn't start with her, but it first came up because Rhonda Hainish became like an educator,
oh,
and she said she remembers clearly one of our English teachers, female English teacher in high school, would open her classroom during lunch. The teacher would spend that time playing her guitar, and you were welcome to come in and do homework or hang
oh,
out or listen to music or whatever. And I thought that was kind of neat to still have that memory connection
yeah,
because educators, they're underappreciated. So when
they
somebody
are.
thanks you years later, it's even
I
Jeff Noah
remember,
says he would run into adult kids that he had taught, and
really.
they would remember him and thank him for the things he did. And that's worth all the salary that they don't
Yep,
pay teachers.
it
So
is. It is. To know that you touched a life to that point, so it's so important. It's so, I don't know. It's immeasurable. You can't even, I just really think that's cool. That's very
yeah,
cool. We had some of the best teachers, Kermit. We really did. We,
and I look back and I can tell that Kamehameha was, I think, prestigious enough to where if a teacher applied, they were maybe 30% in it for the salary, but 70% of them, they wanted to make a difference and teach.
yeah,
Because I remember receiving some help. I did not make it through 10th grade math. And then Mr.
yeah,
Maresca offered me some help that got me on track. And, there was understanding and there was light. And it was like the junior, senior year, I ended up with a really good math grade.
I remember Mr. Maresca.
Yeah.
I
And
remember Mr. Maresca.
and just recently, within the last year, through social media, do you remember Walter Rosehill?
Yeah, that name is very familiar.
Okay, he's a fireman from what I understand. And Mr. Maresca is married to Walter's older sister
Wow.
now. not in high school days, but
Right,
where it's
right.
like, people's circles kind of intersect in weird
Wow,
ways down the road, and
that's amazing. That's amazing.
yeah,
I mean, now all the names are just coming back to me. Mr. Bass, Miss Powers, Mr. Martin.
yeah.
It's
Oh, I love Mr. Martin. He was one of my favorites. So
He was awesome. I would go into his class every time I had English and I would draw a martini glass on the chalkboard because I would call him Mr. Martini, with the olive and everything. But he was such a good sport.
yeah, and he I think had his own version of dad joke for us back in that time. So
He did. He did. We were so many good instructors. I remember those days. Those were cool. To this day, I have a difficult time explaining to other people who did not attend Kamehameha how we rode buses from lower campus to upper campus because the distance was too great to walk in the 15 minutes we had, in between classes. And I was
well,
like,
some of our classmates tell me they've taken their kids for campus visits, and the kids are just mind blown. Like,
yeah,
especially if they're on the mainland, they were raised on the mainland, they come home to visit Hawaii, they took them up to campus, and they're like, they can't believe that's a high school campus.
yeah, yeah. I tell people, I said, yeah, we have an Olympic sized swimming pool. I said, scuba was one of my PE choices, along with bowling down at Campbell, archery. Who does all those things? I was like, dang.
Yeah,
We were just very, very privileged, blessed to have all those.
absolutely, absolutely.
I just had, but I look back and I was like, damn it. I wish, that old adage, oh, if I knew then what I know now, I'd
I feel the
take,
exact same way.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we would have just taken that to, yeah.
So once we graduated, Michelle, what was your next move?
My next move was college on the West Coast. I went to Scripps College at Claremont, California. I
Okay.
don't know if you're familiar with the Claremont colleges, but um, there were five. So there was Scripps, Claremont Men's College, Pitzer, Pomona, and Harvey Mudd. Um,
Wow.
Harvey
Okay.
Mudd was sort of the West Coast answer to MIT. Yeah, and
Okay.
Claremont Men's College is now Claremont McKenna because um, they take women now. So, but yeah, I went to college there and I majored in psychology. It was
Anyone else from our class join you that first year? Or?
Well, yeah. Robbie Ann went to Pomona. I think
Okay.
Joni went to Pomona. Um, I think that was it. I met a lot of people from Harvey Mudd, of course Pomona, Claremont Men's. But yeah, but it was a little college town. I mean, Claremont, I don't think Claremont would have existed at that time if it wasn't for all the colleges the five colleges and all the students and whatnot. So it
Now,
was
geographically, is that like south of San Francisco or?
yes, it's actually near LA. It's actually about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours north of LA, I believe,
Okay.
near Mount Baldy, if you know where that is. I don't know.
I've
Um,
heard it.
yeah, all I know is that we could drive from campus to LA in about an hour and a half to get some good Chinese food. Yeah,
Priorities. A student has to have priorities.
I mean, and I'd come back from college, when it was summer. I'd come back and I don't know if you remember, doggone it, what was that restaurant? Kelly's, Kelly's restaurant by the airport. Do
Oh,
you remember?
yeah,
Long
yeah.
time ago. Yep, and I would go there for spam and eggs on rice. I couldn't wait to have spam and eggs on rice when I got home. Yeah. those
Now,
good
Scripps
times.
program, is that a 4-year program?
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
you did 4 years there?
No, I actually did three, and I finished up at the University of Hawaii.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was hard, and it was hard being away. So, I mean,
How big a family are you from? You have siblings? You mentioned a brother.
I have one brother, just
Okay.
one brother.
Is
Yeah,
he older or younger?
he's older. He's older. Yeah,
Okay.
he didn't go to Kamehameha though, because
Hmm.
all of his friends that were going to Aliamanu and then to Radford. So he chose to stay with them. Big mistake. But but yeah. I don't know if you remember, but there was one year that Kamehameha played Radford. I think it was basketball for the basketball championship.
Okay.
And so that was quite a time in the house, if you can imagine.
So when you did that 4th year at UH, you walked out with a degree in what?
Psychology.
Okay.
Psychology. Yeah. I
Did you
mean,
have a plan to how you were going to use the
not
degree
at
or?
all.
Oh,
Not
okay.
at all. Not at all. I was like, you know, I mean, because truly I felt at the time, and I might have been wrong, but I felt at the time that in order to pursue a career in psychology, I would have had to have gone for a master's and possibly a PhD, if I was going to practice clinical psychology or something along those lines.
Yeah.
I was like, at that time, I was just, you couldn't talk me into more school. So I was like, So I took the consolation prize and started working at like Kekela at Queens, the psychiatric inpatient, and I
Okay.
worked at Kaneohe State, the Red Roof. I worked there for a while, just to get a feel, get a feel for it. It was just
Yeah.
it's very enlightening. I mean, but psychology is useful no matter what you do. You can use the skills that you're taught in psychology no matter what other career path you might take. That's the way I feel. I mean, it's pertinent in so many aspects of our lives, but I did not pursue a career in psychology. In fact, I happened into a career with the federal government.
Oh,
Perhaps not my
okay.
best move, in current times, because yeah, but yeah, I'm still with the federal government,
Oh,
and
okay.
mhm, yep.
Did you
And
just happen upon it or you pursued it and got in or?
well, I always enjoyed and had a passion for things like nursing as well as psychology, and an opportunity fell into my lap to go and work um, in an ER, in an emergency. Actually, it
Oh,
was the emergency room at Tripler, and I loved it. I loved it. I mean, I I stayed there happily for like about 10 years, I think. Yeah, just it was it was well, it's at the time it was perfect for me. I love the rush. I love the adrenaline, the hustle and the bustle. Plus, I could work second shift, so I could take care of my mom.
mm.
Plus I could work weekends, so that left the week open, so I could take her to her doctor's appointments. So it kind of just really was ideal for me at the time. So
Wow.
yeah, yeah, and I really enjoyed it. I don't know what that says about me, but I really enjoyed it.
Well, I can imagine not having ever come close to being able to do that, but I imagine, yes, there's hustle and bustle, but there's got to be some real anxiety producing situations because
Yeah,
sometimes in an ER, somebody's facing life or death.
yeah, that happened. That happened quite often, and it I was grateful to have just enough knowledge about um, medical things or things medical that that I helped, you know, because in those days, the military ERs are extremely busy with all kinds of ailments and chief complaints because there's no charge. So you could come in to get a Motrin refill, or you could come in because you're having a heart attack, or, so, but lines were long to check in, waiting rooms were crowded. And
Yeah.
sometimes it fell on, I worked as a receptionist, and sometimes it fell on us to be the patient's advocate, so to speak. I mean, because sometimes somebody can't can't tell you they're in distress because they can't breathe, or you know but you can tell when you when you look at somebody, and you run go get somebody to help them. Yeah, so I really enjoyed that.
Wow.
But
So currently, are you working through a hospital?
no, currently, so I spent a lot of years doing that, and then I took other positions within the hospital. And when I was working as the administrative assistant for the colonel, who was the head of nursing, I got an opportunity to move to human resources.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, so I moved to human resources, and I've been with human resources in one way, shape, or form since then. And that's currently what I'm doing now, but I'm doing it for the Navy.
Oh, okay. Well, that it seems like you mentioned you're usually home by 3:30, so those are decent hours, at least it sounds like, unless you're starting at 4 a.m. or
I work at this shipyard,
okay.
and I know you're in Minnesota, so you might, I mean, but the shipyard is is a wonderfully crazy place to be. But it's the parking is very challenging because of the construction that's going on. And I could drive into work tomorrow, and the lay of the land would be different because things will just pop up, cones will come up, events will come up, things happen very quickly. And but the parking is sometimes a rare commodity. So I try to leave home pretty early to get there in time to make sure I get a parking space. And then I do start work at 6 o'clock, which I think is great because that allows me to finish at 2:30. And then I can go do my go to the gym, go for a walk, go do all those other things that I really enjoy doing.
Awesome.
I mean,
And so what area of Oahu do you live?
I still live in Aliamanu,
Oh, okay.
Salt Lake. Yeah, yeah, yeah. In the
Uh,
family,
what's that?
in the family home.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Yeah,
Where's your brother?
he's here. He's
Okay.
here. There's an addition at the back of the house that he stays in. Yeah,
Awesome. That cuts costs, I'm
it
sure.
does. It does. I mean, I really, it's. I look at the prices of homes now, and I think, how are the kids going to be able to afford this? You know, how how can they possibly? We're talking. I don't think you can touch anything for less than 1 million.
Yeah, last year we watched a couple of episodes of like Paradise Reconstruction or something. This couple,
Yeah,
the husband, in fact, I found out was a Kamehameha graduate, and he and the wife would flip houses, and they would go in and buy this trash. I mean, you could not have given me the house, and they're paying $1 million at that point, and then you know,
working on it, and oh,
yeah. So it's like, holy moly! And then they talked about the special challenges working in Hawaii because they want a fancy bathtub. Got to come to the mainland.
Yeah, you got to ship it.
Yeah, they want special cabinets. Well, if you can't find it here,
Yep.
you got to go mainland.
Everything is barged in, flown in,
Yeah,
you
and
know.
their thing was they were always fighting a race with the financing, trying to
Right.
get it done
Oh,
quick. So interest they paid out was lower, and trying to
yeah.
get the seller to close.
Right.
It was all
Oh
a
my
speed
God.
timing thing. But when they said they were buying these houses for a million and then working on them, I thought,
I
holy
know. I
moly.
can't conceive of that. It's like, what? Even the fixer uppers are 1 million? That's nuts. That is
Yeah.
nuts.
So, like I've heard and seen over the last bunch of decades, how they call Las Vegas the ninth island.
Yeah.
I keep seeing where, yeah, so and so's kids just moved up, and
Yeah.
a bunch of
Yeah.
our classmates have moved up and lived there, and just different parts of the mainland. I belong to um a Facebook group that's people who live in the Midwest that are originally from Hawaii. And
Is that the frozen
surprisingly,
ohana?
yeah, yeah. And the guy that kind of facilitates it is Martha Farrar's son.
Oh my God.
So I found that out after the fact, after I had
Yeah.
met him and seen him 3 or 4 different times. And, then we get to actually sitting and chatting. And, oh, well, I graduated Kamehameha. And he goes, oh, so did my mom. But, she graduated in 75. And I went, whoa, wait a minute.
What?
Yeah. So it's pretty wild. And,
It's so
even as
nice.
different as it is up here, I believe there's a Cheryl Chang from our class that lives in Minnesota.
Wow.
What was his name? Freitas. Is it Glenn Freitas? He was a year above us.
Joel, no, Freitas. Freitas.
Jerry Freitas.
Jerry.
He
Oh, we
lives.
had an
He,
Ivalani Freitas, I
yeah,
remember.
yeah. But Jerry was 74, and he lives in Minneapolis now. So I've run into him a few times, and
Nice.
yeah. Then there's another three, four, five that graduated quite a bit after us. So you know when
Babies,
yeah,
babies.
when you get to a certain age, it's like everybody's behind you somewhere.
But how do you, right, right? You're the, I know, I know. So what do you, I mean, like, how do you do this? Is it like you see them in a crowd and you're like, that
Well,
person local?
they're all part of the Frozen Ohana. So we have usually a,
Oh,
a
okay.
spring event and then a summer event. Winter, we'll try and find a venue that's indoors and maybe do like a pop-up luau or something.
Oh,
So,
okay. Oh,
we interact a good handful of times a year. So,
oh, that's
but
nice.
but I have been in places. The big Asian market in Minneapolis. I go there to get my Portuguese sausage and lau lau and poi. And
You can get all of that there?
yeah,
Oh,
but unfortunately for me, because I'm picky, but the poi's frozen when it gets here. But yeah,
oh,
I make it work.
yeah, yeah.
When it's all
Eh,
you have, you
That's
make it
right.
work.
That's right.
But
I'm telling you.
the center of the store, they operate like a plate lunch place. So every once in a while I'll be in there and I'll see a guy that, so I'll kind of look for a little bit and then, maybe casually do a little, you know, see if there's a response, or I'll
Right.
walk behind him with one of my grandkids and talk to them in pidgin, see if he
Yeah,
reacts.
yeah, yeah.
So
See if they
yeah, yeah.
that's
So,
awesome.
it's I guess we have our own little signal system we can operate
Yes,
off
we
of.
do. All you gotta do is open your mouth. I mean, seriously, you just gotta
Yeah,
open your mouth and if you're local, you'll hear it. You'll hear it.
yeah.
Yeah, you'll hear
Or
it.
or visually you can give them the head nod.
Yeah, right, right.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here and my back brain is working on, okay, I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna send a message in the group chat and tell everybody, hey, I'm gonna give Kermit all you guys' numbers, so you guys better be you guys better be ready. Be- because I'm like, oh yeah, I think it should be fine.
Because also too, surprisingly, I've got a few of them posted now where people have gotten a chance to see them, and they see that it's not only not traumatic, but also good fun. Catching
Oh,
up
I was
and seeing what people
worried.
are doing.
I was like, you're gonna be online and I'm gonna be fiddling with this, trying to do the computer thing, and I'm gonna screw it up. And I was like, oh my God, I was so stressed out. That's why I was trying to get on early so I could, make my mistakes and still get on in time. But this has been really nice,
Yeah,
really nice.
because I've even had some people request, after they watched a couple, they said, "You think I could do it?" And I said, "Absolutely, man. There's no reason not to." So
How many classmates, how many people are left in our class?
I really
Roughly.
couldn't tell you. I would say more than half, but I don't know how much more. Because
Oh,
we graduated with like 350. Is that the
something
number
like
we
that,
had?
300 plus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because as I go through the annual too, I was looking up a original pic or high school picture of Jay Sistrunk because for some reason him and John Branch in my head were interchangeable. So I had to look
Okay.
look up and see. And then when I
Okay.
was on Jay's page, I looked up and saw Jack Shuptrine's picture. And I mean
Who?
that's Jack Shuptrine.
Oh, I don't recall at all.
But
That's
there's a few. There's a good couple of handfuls as I was looking them up, um, that I didn't remember or recognize or I don't know if my camera can catch it or not. I'll point.
oh,
Uh,
it's not coming. Oh, I can sort of see the young man next to the girl.
oh, okay. Uh,
Oh, okay. I remember the face.
yeah,
I remember the
but
face.
you've been watching progress, so I did Leanne, and I'm trying to get in touch with Jay Sorrell, and just yeah. But as I go through, it's just a blast from the past. You're going, wow, what are they up to? I'm so curious. I'd love to find out and
Wow.
do a deal. And my original
Are-
plan for the project was to release them daily till the reunion. By the way,
yeah.
are you coming to the reunion?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm doing the the night at the tea house,
Uh-huh.
the dinner, I guess it's called, and then the next day the luau. Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. Are you
Yeah.
okay? Good,
I'll
good.
arrive Wednesday and then I'm staying in the dorms, so and just kind of play it by ear.
That is so cool. I think Ellen said she was staying at the dorm too, and I was
Oh,
like, oh,
okay.
that is so cool.
Well, that would
You know,
be because she was a day student, wasn't she?
she was what?
Day student?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. So
I
that'll
mean,
actually kind of be maybe a little different for her.
well, she's Ellen is so different. She's so cool, but she just enjoys everything to the fullest. So she's gonna enjoy the heck out of that. Yep,
Awesome.
yep, she is.
So in the last 50 years, have you gotten to do any recreational traveling or anything like that?
Well, surprisingly, or maybe not surprisingly, um, most of my traveling is happening now recreationally. Um, I've got some trips planned to the continental US. I'm working on plans with my church sister to go on a cruise to Tahiti, and of course a cruise to Alaska. Um,
Wow. Cruise to
yeah, but
Tahiti sounds like it'd be awesome.
I know, right? Oh, but these are just things that are coming up in the future. Now, while I was, in the past, while I was growing up or whatever you want to call it, um, there really, I was with a man for quite a few years, and we'd go home a lot to where he was from in Ohio. And,
Mhm.
so we spent our time there when we were on vacation, with his parents and whatnot. So
Yeah.
we didn't think to go do other things. But now he's passed away. We were together for quite a few years. But now I'm like, well, I want to see some things. I mean, I've already been to Vegas and whatnot, but where is it, North Dakota or South Dakota, where the president's faces are?
South Dakota.
South
Mount
Dakota.
Rushmore. Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to see that. I'd
It's
like to
pretty
see.
neat. I didn't get real close to where I could even take pictures, but I could definitely see the features and stuff. Last August, I did a road trip. I have a first cousin who lives in Libby, Montana, which is northwest Montana. It's up by Glacier National Park.
Wow.
Went and drove out and stayed for 10 days and came back, but I go right through all that South Dakota Walls Drug and Custer's Last Stand and all these different places. So that was kind of a neat trip. So I enjoyed
Yeah.
that. And I've been wanting to do more because, I mean, you just don't know. Can't keep putting stuff off like when we were
No,
20 and 30.
no. Yeah. No, we have to do what we have to do. So and I have gotten a little bit better about picking and choosing what it is I want to do, what I want to do, you know, not because somebody else wants me to do it or something, but what I want to do. And so
Yeah.
I think that's good. Too
It's
bad it
just,
took me this long.
it is what it is, though. I mean,
Yeah, it is. It is. But I mean, I've got all these plans to go traveling. Let's see. Oh, and for some reason we're going to Tennessee in October. So I'm like, okay, Nashville, I guess.
well, my daughter just had a business training down there in Nashville and she really liked it.
Yeah.
She wants to go back, not work related, because her training took up so much time that she didn't really get out and see.
Oh,
She would drive down the street and see the bright lights and then the uh, celebrity names, so and so
yeah.
performing here and what. But then she wants to go back and make sure she can enjoy it more,
Wow.
make it purely a recreational trip and not a business trip with a little bit of recreation
Yeah.
included.
Well, I'm all for it. The man I'm with now, he's like, yeah, we're gonna go to Nashville. I'm like, okay, okay, let's go. I think, there's always fun in something, you know. I don't think you can make a bad choice if
Yeah.
you go in it with the right attitude and you're out to have fun. And hey, it's a day off from work, right? So you probably don't know what that's like anymore, Kermit.
Well, I get the school holidays, so I feel like that's a kind of a special thing. So
You're not still working, are you?
yeah, I drive a school bus.
Do you? Oh my
Yeah.
God, then shame on me. I thought you were retired, so I was making jokes about you not knowing what day it is and about what it feels like to have
Yeah.
to work.
Now I definitely don't want to be putting in 40 hours a week anymore, but
Oh yeah, I
at
know.
the same time, it's something to do and it's not grueling,
Yeah.
except when the kindergartners and the first graders refuse to sit down and you gotta yell at them a little bit. And
Yeah, but that's still pretty cool. That's still pretty cool.
yeah,
It's a
so
great way to keep busy.
and like I say, I get the school holidays, so that's always kind of a built in. time off kind of deal. So
Yeah,
it's not like you got to ask for it. You just plan
right.
around the
It's
ones you
just
already get.
there.
So,
Yeah, yeah. I'm
and
I'm so looking forward to some time off. I haven't been at this job very long, so I'm trying to learn the ins and outs of a fairly new position for me, which was probably not my best career move, but it's working out really well. I love where I work, and I love the people I'm with, and I'm I'm getting it. I think I'm getting it. So I think it's going to work out pretty well.
how long have you been there so far?
For the at this particular location since January 13th.
Oh, okay. So yeah, a quarter
And
in or
yeah,
barely a bit
just like
more.
what,
So
3 months? Yeah, not too long, not too long. But I do enjoy it very much. And like I said, the people I work with are amazing. So all of those things add up to a good time, you know.
it's a big plus.
So I'm gonna see you. Do you know how many people are coming to the reunion or to the class night, the Friday night? I'm
I
interested.
want to say it's about 150-ish that they had signed
That
up, or
many? Wow.
yeah, because Mike Medeiros is handling the numbers and stuff on that, and I guess they had initially put in a deadline of some kind, but he says unofficially he's just gonna keep it open. If you walk up the night of with $75, he's letting you in. So,
Yeah. Oh, that's sweet. That's
yeah.
sweet. Oh, I'm impressed. You guys are doing a wonderful job.
Well,
All of
I
the
don't do much,
organization.
but I was helping them collect some contact data. But
Yeah.
beyond that, I uh I raise my hand, and if they need me for something, sure, but I
Yeah.
not assigned anywhere.
That's awesome, Kermit. Thank you for all you do. And thank you for
Sure.
reaching out to me. I mean,
Yeah.
I had
And
my
I
I had
will
my
I will
doubts,
text
but
you, so make your little list for me.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I will. I'll make that, I'll make a list. And well, first I'll shoot a text out to everybody and say, hey, this is what I'm gonna do. And if you really, 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 really don't want me to, let me know in the next 2 seconds. Oh, okay. Nobody let me know. Okay, I'm gonna send Kermit the names. I mean, shoot, because I feel like if you really don't want to, then say no. But you're gonna see everybody at the luau or at class night, so might as well. Well, I know what I wanted to ask you. Can we get a copy of ours?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
sent Kathy Thurston a copy of hers. So, and time permitting, which is not a whole lot because this project is pretty time consuming in itself, but I'm going to try and gather all the videos and make like a YouTube channel with them,
Oh.
because we do have a number of people I've been contacting and talking to who are not Facebook users,
Oh. Okay.
so that this will give them the opportunity to connect. But with all the upload and download times, it's time consuming.
Yeah.
It's not
It's
like I can
big
say,
time.
okay, they're over there now.
Wow. And
So,
I don't know. I mean, you have some mad skills to be able to do all this. Seriously.
I have smart grandkids. I have a
Oh,
walking, talking IT department in my family. So,
nice. Nice. I know. That always helps. That always helps.
yeah,
That is so cool. That is so cool. But I will get you that list. And please send me my video because
will
I know a
do.
couple people who will want to see it. So
Cool.
that'll be nice. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to June. Thank you again for
Yes.
working with me on this.
Absolutely my pleasure, friend. Absolutely my pleasure. And I will see you then. I
Aloha
expect to
and take
cash in
care.
on a big hug.
There you go.
Okay.
You got it.
All right. Okay.
Bye
See you
bye.
then. Thanks. Okay.